Now, I think that the issue at this election, which is going to jump people into places where historically they've never been before, is buying a house. Now, I don't know what role government turns around here. Government's not going to turn around and say, hey, you want that one-bedroom unit for your kid? Here's $100,000. I know that they're going to say, oh, well, there's a pilot program for 4/5 of bugger all people who've already, gone in with their best mate or the government's going to help to buy. But in your reporting, is this one of these issues where you can see people that are hardcore Labor people that if Peter Dutton somehow had a magical answer, they'd flip, and vice versa for some Conservative voters?
Absolutely. And I think we were talking about American trends coming into Australia. I think the working poor is something that we are seeing in Australia, which we didn't have before. But increasingly, I've spoken to people who both parents are working and they've got good jobs, but they're struggling to make ends meet. And a lot of pollsters have also said that those mortgage belts, those outer suburban areas in metropolitan cities, are going to be the tough spot. So I don't think Australians are as loyal to a party they've always been this time round. They are loyal to whoever's going to get them the best deal on their cost of living. Yeah,
they're not even loyal to a phone company, let alone politics right now. But again, James, that factor where, again, in regional Queensland, where, again, it's going to be slightly easier to buy, but that's if you're expecting people to still be earning Sydney or Melbourne corporate money. But, of course, they don't the further we go. So how many people, when you were running for state politics or in your position now, how big an issue is I want somewhere for my kids to buy, where people will go, you know what, you could be the wokest of woke, but if somehow you've got an answer for this, I'm seriously going to think about you?
Paul, it's never been easy for a person to buy a house. It doesn't matter what generation we're talking to. There'll be people at home there in their 70s, 80s, 40s, 50s, doesn't matter. It's always been difficult to get into the housing market, whichever demographic you look at. And I hate to say it, I know a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck trying to put that money away. I know the reports are out there saying people are doing that. But even when you own a home, you're living paycheck to paycheck. I put a new clothesline out the back, it hit me $400. I was lucky. I could still dig a hole myself. I could still concrete that thing in. Otherwise, it'd probably cost me another $400 to put it in. It doesn't matter whether you own a home or you're renting, there are still ongoing costs. And this is the difficulty for a lot of people. It's never easy to get into the housing market, but don't think that once you're in, it's a free ride or it's an easy ride, because you've still got maintenance, you've still got upgrades you want to do. I just went and had dinner with friends who put a new kitchen in their house. It's a unit. It cost them close to $100,000. So all these things people have to think about. Whatever you're doing out there, whether you're renting or buying, it's still tough no matter which way you try and slice or dice it. I'm not saying it's any easier either way, but it's going to be tough for Aussies moving forward, because nothing is easy in this country, especially when you've got an influx of migrants coming into the country under both major parties, but particularly under Labor. There's going to be a huge influx of migration under Labor if we give them a second term. The coalition's slightly better, but I think we should be more focused on looking after Australians so that we can lower the price of housing and affordability moving forward.